I just thought that that's how life was. I was always unhappy. I had a very difficult childhood, and then when I started working as an adult in fashion, I just felt very unhappy. And I thought, oh, this is just life, to not feel happiness. My baseline was just unhappiness, and I wanted to be a healer and I wanted to learn different ways to heal people. Particularly, I think, because my mom was sick from the moment I was born. So, from being an infant, I felt her presence like not there for a few months. She was gone at in rehab when I was very young, and then she was just emotionally not present. So I just felt that like longing and grief for her not being there, but also a responsibility to help her and to heal her. Um, and well, I did have that. I did pick that up. I had to take care of her. So I also developed that desire to heal her. And that grew into a desire to heal other people, to learn what is healing, like what are the ways of healing, because all we knew was allopathic medicine. But I started to not believe in that after seeing how sick my mom continued to get. So I started being very, very curious about just natural medicine and yoga, and like most people go down that path. But living in New York, it's like a very different place. You can't just walk down the street and give Reiki unless you have like, a doctor degree and like whatever supporting other degrees. It's like everything's all like, what are your degrees? And like, show me all the stuff and the paperwork and all the money. So I just felt like, oh, I'm never going to be able to like become a healer. I'm not going to be able to go back to college. Like I already had debt from fashion school, and like, how am I going to become a healer? And when my mom died 8 years ago, it was such a wake up call for me. And I realized that I had to follow all my dreams right away, because after, in one day, in 1 second, you can lose all opportunities. You can lose your life, you can lose your family member's life, you can lose that partner, that opportunity, anything. It's just boom, gone. So during the pandemic, I finally made the leap of faith to travel to Tulum, Mexico, just to visit. And I ended up staying there. So I ended up deciding to move, and then I went back to New York, packed all my stuff, and then a few months later I moved back. But I made the decision to move there while I was there, and it was the best decision of my life. And yeah, I had no certainty or didn't know anyone there. I mean, all the people that I knew in Mexico and in Tulum were people that I had like literally just met like that month while I was there. So I totally just was like flying by the seat of my pants, like just like trusting in God, trusting in life, and like my mom, like now that she had passed, she was on the other side, like helping me, like, you know. So I freed myself from New York and moved to Tulum. And actually, right before I moved to Mexico and Tulum, like a year before that, 2 years before that, I started studying Ayurvedic nutrition, like online. And then the year before I left the US, I studied online at a college. So for 1 year, Ayurvedic nutrition. And then I was going to move there. But then I decided Tulum is way better. I mean, the water, it's Mexico, the water's warm. It's like paradise. Everything's cheaper. So when I moved to Mexico, I started going very deep down, like healing rabbit holes for myself, starting to heal my traumas from my upbringing, from life in New York, all the things, healing, but then also starting to learn and like getting inspired by like different ways of healing, right? And started studying like yoga and like Thai medicine, Thai massage, and EFT tapping and somatics and emotional freedom technique and all these like emotional healing modalities. And then when I found water therapy on my mom's birthday, which is like totally not a coincidence because my mom orchestrated all of this, and my mom was very aligned with the water in her own ways. And she's like passed the baton down to me, and now I'm carrying that in my life with the therapy and the work that I do in the water, and the water codes that have been coming through me to share and to steward into the world of like the remembrance of water, and like all this stuff that we don't even know about the water, and like what it is, and like that it's us, and like we need to respect it and love it. And like I can go do a whole new video on this. water alone. But yeah, when I started studying, 4 or 5 years down the line, I found water therapy right in the beginning. And I knew instantly that this was my work. Not only because, one, it was on my mom's birthday, and two, the first moment that I held somebody in the water, like they're floating on their back, and then you kind of hold them and you're like helping them release tension and stuff. The first moment I held somebody in the water, I felt, on my mom's birthday, I felt my mom come through me, and I was her, and I was pregnant with me, and the person in the floating was me, and I felt like all of her feelings, all of her worries and fears about like being responsible and like, such a responsibility, and like, how can I like take care of this precious thing, don't want them to get hurt, and all this stuff. And it was such a beautiful activation of the water and motherhood, the mother energy, because the water is all about the mother, and the water is the womb. And so the water therapy is very much the mother and the emotions and letting go and all of that. So I knew in that moment that this was the work that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I wanted to hold these spaces and share these healings and these trainings with people. And this is the work that I'm bringing to the island. And yeah, so also the water is connected to, the voice and the singing. So you can't necessarily go under the water without holding your breath, right? So to go into the realm of the water, the different dimension, the world of the water, we need to access our breath and our voice and our words, and our voice and our words, our emotions and our beliefs and our sensations. Those are our words. So when you go into the healing with the water, it's very much the healing with the voice and the throat. So that is very much woven into my work as well. So online, I help people somatically with the somatic journeys using this vocal awakening method. That this Thursday and Sunday, there's going to be 2 calls coming up where it's going to be supporting women that have walked a similar journey or are ready to walk a similar journey to the one that I did when I took that leap of faith and I left everything behind and I moved to Mexico. When I decided I no longer want to be tired and unhappy anymore. I no longer want empty energy, tiredness, gray, feeling drab being my baseline. I am deciding to take my gifts and my hard work and my unique medicine that I carry and to direct it towards a path that's been calling me for maybe my whole life. And you have those dreams that you've been holding, oh, not now, maybe later. So this is for the woman who's ready to declare no more. She's had enough. This is a rite of passage, a declaration of creating a life that you're going to love, a life that is being called by your heart. So I am so excited to share this because it is very much connected to my life and the path that I've walked. So to do this in a group and to be able to connect your voice to the emotions that maybe are blocking us from really admitting to ourselves or seeing the reality. A lot of this is shame-based. So what are we hiding from ourselves so that we don't want to see it within? What are we hiding from with the people that we work with, or maybe our friends or our family or our colleagues? Are we actually being us? Are you walking around wearing a mask? I definitely wore a mask for a very, very long time in many different ways, but a mask can be many different, not like always just like this, but like, where are you not being yourself and where are you holding back? And you know that you're doing that because you're feeling drained, you are feeling tired, you are not feeling fulfilled. And when you feel fulfilled, oh, this is for me. You do it obviously more and more and more. So that is available for you. You just have to remember that. And you're not going to waste your beautiful gifts. Like I spent 30 years of my life taking care of my mother in more ways than just like with my hands and making things, right? Like it changed like my brain and like who I am today. And I will never be somebody who didn't have a sick mom because I was developed in this unique way. And although it was hard and maybe painful, and some would say traumatic. Yes, but we can turn our biggest wounds, our biggest traumas into our biggest gifts. And that's what I've been able to do with my water therapy, and being able to give to people in this way, this motherly way, which I had to be, this really attuned way to the emotions, the physical, movements in the body, like everything, the sounds. So that's available for everyone. And if you know, you have a desire in your heart, and it's not going to stop until you listen. So you're more than welcome to join, and sending you so much love on your journey. Thank you for listening.